Good morning, LinkedIn family. It's time for another Coffee with Bob. Today, I have the immense pleasure of visiting with a very nice connection of mine that I just love her post, Olivia Vo. Olivia and I have been connected for a
Hi,
little
everyone.
while now, and if you're not connected to her, I highly recommend you connect, you follow, and you engage with her. You'll learn a lot from her. She's doing some wonderful things on LinkedIn. Olivia, thank you for coming on. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Bob, for having me. I am a big fan of Coffee with Bob, so I'm so pleased to be here as a guest. Thank
Thanks. I
you.
appreciate that. So tell us a little bit about what you got going on these days.
Absolutely. So, I have to say that LinkedIn has really changed my life and recently days on how I use and interact with the platform. So I work in corporate recruiting, so I'm very used to just posting my jobs, finding candidates, connecting with HR professionals, staffing professionals, and hiring managers. And that was it. I was very narrow-minded in how I approach LinkedIn. And only recently have I been able to connect with influencers like yourself and really be involved with some of the social activities that are going on with LinkedIn, even outside of my profession. And it never occurred to me to do that. So truly grateful for all the connections I've made just outside of my profession, and I found ways to collaborate with people, and while still with my core mission of helping and matching people with opportunities and people, right? That's what I do for a living, just matching people all the time with opportunities, and actually just helping people be more visible. And so I've been able to participate in a few networking events. I mean, they're happening all the time on Zoom.
Yep.
And it's been a real pleasure just to be able to join in those, because with my job before, I couldn't take the time off to travel, to a BNI meeting or Toastmasters and be on site. But now it's all happening online, so I really love it, and being able to carve that time. And because of those meetings, I've come across a lot of people who still don't know much about LinkedIn.
Yeah.
To them, it's just a career site. And I do a lot of explaining, like, it may have started out as the career site, where you post jobs and find opportunities and make referrals, but it's really a people finder site.
Yes.
And so if you're looking for business connections, business partners, collaborators, I mean, this is the place to be. And the connections are genuine. I think people do a terrific job of not just networking online, but taking those relationships offline, which is so key as well in the follow-up.
Yeah, amazing. It's amazing because we've been connected for a little while now. So I've watched your transition, even from your headline and summary to now being on Coffee with Bob with me now. I think it's just been fantastic. As a recruiter, what do you see is the one thing or two things even that you would suggest to those that are looking for jobs out on LinkedIn today? How could they enhance their profile or enhance their presence on LinkedIn?
Absolutely. And the headline is really it. We now have 220 characters, right, for that headline. So make it really stand out and punchy, who you are, what you want to get into. And then, really spending the time in the about section explaining your career journey and what opportunities you might be opening up to. I read those all the time.
Do you?
And nowadays with hiring managers, they're going to pull up your resume and your LinkedIn profile simultaneously. So you want to make sure the information is in parallel. And the LinkedIn profile is really like your showcase. If you've got documents, reports, presentations, slide decks that you've made for your previous positions, put those in as a featured item. Because there's only so much you can put on your resume, but you have the space on LinkedIn to do that. And really, I love the featured section that's right underneath the about, where you can add all those different types of creative media that will really, help a manager to see how you set yourself apart and the things you've contributed on past projects. And, my thing with a resume is that it only can tell so much. It talks about your past, what you've done, your present situation, but it doesn't really give an indication of your future direction. So anytime you can, mention or weave that into your objective statement or your professional summary about what you're looking for next, and using LinkedIn as a platform to talk about those future directions, what you're most excited about, that's awesome.
Yeah, great points. Great points. And I think far too many people don't take advantage of that space that's out there on LinkedIn to really promote themselves. And really, it's about promoting themselves. I really like what you do with your headline. Explain a little bit about that.
Absolutely.
What are
So
the picture characters you use?
yes, there's an amazing website, right, for all those fun copy and paste emojis. It's called coolsymbol.com. So I recommend everyone to bookmark that site. So you just copy and paste, all sorts of fun emojis. And I just really saw that as a way to just stand out, and you can see that I work in a very specific demographic territory, New York
Mhm.
tri-state area. I want to work with high-level IT professionals because that's, most of the requisitions I work on relate to IT. And I have some, pretty spectacular clients that are involved with energy efficiency and healthcare manufacturing. So that's what I, want to help high-level professionals, IT professionals, find the meaningful work.
Yeah.
Get excited about projects to change the future.
Yeah, yeah, and yeah, it really does make your profile stand out. And now that we've had this chance to have this chat together, it really encapsulates your personality that you have because you're so bubbly and effervescent, and you've got that constant smile on your face. And your headline speaks to that in volume. So I mean, so
Thank you, Bob, for noticing that. Yes.
well, I mean, it's your profile is a reflection of you, right? I mean, it's you're selling yourself, but you're also trying to get your own genuine internal self out there on the page, right? And I think the emojis help that.
And I just feel so grateful because, candidates, they have their choice of recruiters, right? I mean, there's many different types of recruiters. I'm an agency recruiter, so I work with many different clients at one time. And then there's corporate recruiters that specifically work, for the talent acquisition team, HR team at a particular company. And so you have your choice of recruiters. And so for someone to choose to work with me, I mean, I'm just very grateful for that opportunity. And I want to carry them all the way through,
Yeah,
So just from the initial conversation and really guiding them on what will work for their application and then ultimately getting them the interview so then they can make a case for themselves in front of a hiring manager.
that's awesome. That's incredible. You, today during this pandemic, I see you're outside, so that's wonderful that you're able to get out, and I see a few people walking back there. That's wonderful to get out. But how difficult has this being shut in it made your job as a recruiter?
Yes. Oh my gosh. I've never recruited through a pandemic before. So this is very new for me. And we saw major transitions throughout the whole staffing landscape. I mean, just the transition of people moving to remote work. And thankfully, I was able to keep all of our consultants on billing and, send them home with a laptop. They could work from home and we didn't lose too many people. We had to furlough some, and managers' hiring attitudes have changed, which I think has
Mhm.
been a benefit because before hiring managers were kind of skeptical about doing video interviews. They were skeptical about having remote work, even a partial remote work situation,
Mhm. Yep.
only wanting local candidates. And so I think for me, an actual benefit has come about where managers are now more open to scheduling. And it's actually a quicker turnaround time because we don't have to fight logistics with matching schedules and getting people on site. And I've heard every excuse, the bus was late or there was construction on the way.
Yeah, yeah. I
I
bet.
couldn't find my keys. So now they can just turn on the camera and have an actual face-to-face conversation and get a feel for that candidate right away.
Mhm.
And also the ability to work remote, I think that is going to continue, at least even just a more flexible arrangement where
Mhm.
partial remote can be considered, and the ability to consider candidates even outside of the New York, New Jersey tri-state area.
Yeah, yeah, that's awesome.
So that's
That's
it's
incredible.
opened up opportunities that way.
Yeah, that's great. Olivia, thank you so much. I really enjoyed having you on Coffee with Bob. I want to do it again so that we have more time, so we're not limited by the 10 minutes. Maybe even do a Coffee with Bob live where you can take people through their LinkedIn profile. I think that would be awesome.
Yeah,
Okay. All right. So you have yourself a wonderful day, and thank
I
you
would
again.
love that.
Very good. All right. Take care now. Bye bye.
Bye, Bob. See you online.
I will.